Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. And today I wanted to talk about one Vladimir Putin. This is his horoscope. This is his information. He was born on the 7th of October in 1953, or 52, sorry, at 9:30 a.m. in St. Petersburg, Russia. The 9:30 a.m. is, I got that from Lois Rodden's Astro Data Bank, and it is rated dirty data, so you can't really trust it, but it seems to work. And so I've put it up here and we will proceed. So here's Vladimir Putin. Here's the sun. He's a Libra. The sun is here on the cusp, on the cusp of the 12th house. And right on the midheaven is got Pluto in Leo, and the south node. We've got here in the 12th house, the hidden 12th house is Saturn, Neptune, and the Mercury. Here at the ascendant, we've got Venus at 12 Scorpio. We've got Mars here at 27 Sag. Chiron's at 7 Capricorn. North node here at 20 Aquarius. Jupiter at 20 Taurus. Moon at 3 Gemini here in the 8th house, which is conjunct the vertex at 9 Gemini, and I don't really remember why I put the vertex, and I guess I was watching for something that I didn't find. Fortuna here in the 8th house at 22 Gemini, and Uranus at 18 Cancer in the 9th. Okay. This ascendant here is ruled by the Venus the Mars in Sagittarius. And the Mars in Sagittarius is ruled by the Jupiter in Taurus. And the Jupiter in Taurus is ruled by this Venus in Scorpio, which is ruled by this Mars in Sagittarius. So these three, the triumvirate kind of is what you see of Vladimir Putin. This and this Pluto on the midheaven. So when you see Vladimir out shirtless and riding his horse, what you're seeing is this Venus, this Mars, and this Jupiter. And so you virtually see the best of Vladimir. And of course, you also always notice that Pluto. This is who I am. I am a powerful person. What you don't see is this Sun, Saturn, Neptune, Mercury in the 12th house, and the Moon in the 8th, all very hidden away. And so this is a man. He was once head of the KGB, and it really shows. There is so much to Vladimir that is hidden. His the south node up there is indicative of the powerful position that he has. The north node in Aquarius down here shows, well, you know, obviously is not doing his north node. That shows the objectivity about the territory he rules. Objectivity means, you know, to allow others their own freedom. Give them their own Uranus. You got yours. They can have theirs. And it's replicated up here. Uranus rules this north node, and it is square to the Saturn-Neptune. That Saturn-Neptune conjunction is really interesting. What it does is it gives an image of power, an image of power. He has an ideal of what he should be, and how he should rule, and that ideal is indicative of his moon phase 18. Yeah, he's a moon phase 18, just like the United States is, and how unfortunate that the UN also is a moon phase 18. That's why it's so fairly incompetent. So what, let's look at a moon phase 18. This is an initiation phase in the air quarter. 18 and 19 have to do with the loss of the old ideal, virtually guided since moon phase 1. The old ideal, which is 18 has to give up those old ideals because it's going to move out into the real world and make a difference. It's going to actualize some power that 18 has built up over all this time. And 18 is still a divided soul. The logical mind is looking out into the world and say, this is what I want to do. But the lunar mind, the subconscious, is still looking at that ideal saying, oh, no. The way it was the way it should be. And the way it was for the Soviet Union was, a huge power that encompassed a huge world over there. But 19 is not afflicted with this division of minds, this divided mind, like 18 is. 19 is, while it's fairly insecure about the use of its power, it's focused out on, I'm going to do this. For a long time, I thought that Putin was a 19. I was kind of shocked to actually do his horoscope and discover that he was an 18. Because notice, it's all about power. It's about Scorpio here, your personal power. 18 holds virtually all of that Pisces decadent in it, and that is the loss of that ideal in order to use this, the lunar power to the logical mind's ends. The subconscious needs to cooperate with what the logical mind does and wants, and that is what happens at moon phase 19. Moon phase 20 then is on a roll. Yeah, it is done. It's done its experimenting in moon phase 19. It's made the decision in moon phase 18 of what it's going to pursue. Moon phase 19 takes it full bore, and moon phase 20 needs to learn the standards in order to keep this energy, this power under control, and to make it functional and benevolent. Okay, so the nostalgia for the past is nostalgia for the past Soviet Union is Vladimir Putin's Achilles heel, and it keeps him from doing this, of being the proper kind of ruler of his country, of promoting the freedom of the population, feeding them, taking care of them. Uranus in Cancer has so much to do with providing security for the masses, and but what he's trying to do is to reconstruct the old Soviet Union, and that was his ideal. Stalin did it right, I guess. This is a really interesting chart. The only thing he's got exalted is he's got an exalted Saturn. He has nothing else in its rulership or in its exaltation. And Venus, which is so powerful in his chart, is kind of in a sad condition. You know, she's in her fall, needy. She's needy in Scorpio, and is sly and subtle about getting her way. So let's see what we wanted to say. So the Sun, Saturn. Anytime you get that combination of Sun, Saturn, is going to make the person much more conservative and ambitious. but traditional. And so the tradition of the old Soviet Union is what Vladimir is all about. So he has this logic here versus illusion, and he's running on his illusion. He's running on that old ideal as he invades the Ukraine. Oh, and notice that the Mars is trine the Pluto. Yeah. Mars-Pluto trine is easy, then the destruction that Mars-Pluto is notorious for is easy to do. It's all available. The moon, and the moon is contraparallel to the Mars, and they are both out of bounds. So we've kind of got a moon Mars opposition. It feels like a contraparallel, feels like an opposition. And they're out of bounds, so they're both unreasonable, and willing to go to extremes for their goals. So this square here is interesting, because this is the conflict between the future and the past. Notice that this Neptune Mercury here, we've got the Saturn in it, and that gives a lot of self-doubt. That's hidden, but it's there. A lot of self-doubt. The Mars has got a septile to the ascendant here, and the Sun has got a septile to the Pluto there. So here's rampaging, I would call it, through the world. He's there is, it seems to be in these tumultuous times, there is a swell of dictators trying to stabilize their regimes, or to expand their regimes, and to stabilize their power. And this is one of those. That septile is, you jump on a movement, a wave, a coming wave, and you change the future. So when we talk about Putin and his he identifies strongly with the USSR. He's got the Pluto on the midheaven in Leo, and the USSR has the Pluto on the midheaven, and both those Plutos are conjunct the South Node. The USSR has a moon at 23 degrees of Leo. The USSR has a Saturn-Neptune conjunction, as does Vladimir Putin. Their Mars is, well, let me see, what was I? So they have a Mars-Jupiter square too. The USSR has a Mars-Jupiter square. This is not an inconjunct, it's too wide. Okay. And the USSR has this, the one that he's head of now, and I'm not talking about the past. The USSR has a Venus in one Capricorn out of bounds. The Venus, I need territory. And at one Capricorn, it's Capricorn, 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 because it's in the Capricorn sign, in the Capricorn decadent, and the Capricorn dwad. So it's out of bounds. So it's hungry. It's really hungry for territory. And all of this ties in very close to Putin's chart. And so he identifies very strongly with this objective of the USSR. And the USSR is a moon phase 22. And a moon phase 22, let me show you a moon phase 22 briefly. It's right up here. It's the height of the intellect. And this is the king that is encouraged to abdicate. This is a very difficult moon phase. It requires, because you're up there at the top of your game, you know, but it's the fate tipping over, going down. And what 22 is supposed to do is to get off their horse, abdicate their kingdom, and go down to the very basic place where they can do good, and work there. Utilize what they have developed as a technical skill. Of course, the USSR has been taken over by the strongman, just like just about every other country, and so it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. The Democratic Party is a moon phase 22, and is supposed to get off of its high horse and use its power to help the people at the bottom. And I think the people at the bottom here are the homeless. We'll see if any of that can happen. So the USSR is a moon phase of 22, and it's got its south node up here at utilization of power, just like Putin does. Okay, let's look at Putin's Saturn return, or not Saturn return, his solar return. Okay. And for his solar return, he is a moon phase 1. A moon phase 1. Now, a moon phase 1 just does whatever has been set around it to do. It is born into a situation and says, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do," and does it. So, all of this is a moon phase 1. This for him is the beginning of a new phase, a new adventure. Yes. So he's got this Sun Chiron. His Sun here is conjunct Mars this year. The Uranus is leading him, but is Oriental this year. And so, Uranus, Oriental to the Sun, does kind of like Donald Trump does, is it stirs up things. So the Mars, and that Mars Sun is opposing Chiron. And that's a feeling of rightness about what you're doing. It's just a feeling of this is what I should be doing, which is kind of what moon phase 1 is about. This job that I see before me is what I should be doing. Notice that Regulus is on the ascendant, which gives him a lot of personal power to do what he's doing. The Uranus is on the midheaven, and with the North Node saying you need to decide how to foment change and foment freedom among the people. I mean, if you're going to rule Ukraine, you should give these people their own territory, their own freedom. But he's not. This is an autocrat, and I really think it's incapable of him. Remember, the North Node. And this North Node is in Aquarius, trying to this this North Node. So that's cool. The North Nodes could be done, but the South Nodes are also trying. So that's what gets done. So and this Sun is in conjunct to the Uranus, and so. How to make the kind of change you're supposed to do, I don't know that he's capable of it. This is a 8th house. It's Sun's kind of, it's a Scorpio in conjunct, which is the sex and death in conjunct. So I don't know how that's going to work out. This one is just, this moon, Neptune here, is an illness in conjunct. It's the 6th house. It's the 6th house in conjunct. The moon here is conjunct Mercury. And so, and we see him acting on his emotions. And everybody's just so surprised because I've been noticing his Pluto and South Node up there, but have not noticed that he is the emotional man. That's the moon phase 18 for you. That's the name that Yeats gave him, the emotional man. This is square to Pluto. This is square to Pluto. And this is a decision about death, I think. You know, because what he's doing is causing death. But here's what I wanted to, one other thing I wanted to talk about. This Jupiter is opposing his natal Pluto. And that is a tremendous drive for success. It's a law, virtually gives you a law unto yourself. And what Robert Hand said about it was that what you're doing here, the Jupiter involved, is you're actualizing some ideal that is very dear to you, and about the way the world should be. And that is what we see him doing. That is what we see him doing. The reason I wanted to show you his solar return is because this is the wonderful thing about a solar return. Here is the day of your birth, the month of your birth, the month following your birth. Like, I was born on the 24th of the month, and so I go from 24 January to 24 February to 24 March. So it's a little awkward. But for Putin, he's born on the 7th. So this is pretty much all October here, November, December, January. And what's interesting that all this Libra that he has had hidden so long is now right out there in public saying, yes, this is who I am. As though you didn't know, as though you didn't suspect. Okay, January, and here's February. And February's got the Pluto that is square to the moon, Mercury. And so this Pluto is when he decided, notice that it's intercepted. It's the power of the government. He's expressing himself through the power of the government, and he's dealing with death. And he did this in February. So you ask what's going to happen in March? Well, in March we've got the Saturn. And the Saturn actually trines this stuff over here. This is a wide square. It is a square. So public opinion is not going to approve of what he does. But is it going to do anything about it? We are attacking his money. Everybody gets to suffer when somebody decides to go to war. So, and you can see that in the losses over here in the 8th house. The losses, he's got this Virgo, which is ruled by this Mercury, which is square to Pluto. So there's going to be, he's going to endure losses, personal, financial losses. But I think he's going to achieve his ends to some degree. It's the Jupiter rules the success. And notice that Jupiter is in a trine to these personal planets here, the moon and the sun. Yeah, it's in a wide square here, but it's wide. So, here's April. It's ruled by Uranus. There's going to be an awful lot of pushback from people who are open enemies. The losses are going to start being counted up. But he's going to be able, I think, to absorb them. And the losses, Chiron, the personal losses will then become apparent, I think. July, there's going to be a big issue about it in July. We'll see what happens. But I think he is going to achieve his aims, but I think he's going to lose a lot in the process. And let's face it, an 18 who isn't using his energies to affect change that will make the future a better place for all of us, that is, he tends to fail at what he's aiming at. Although he's very powerful in changing the world, like we saw those subtiles. So I was going to tell you about some stuff that he's got with his, where did I do with that? Oh, it's over here. The USSR. His Pluto. Let's go back to his natal chart. His Pluto and USSR are on the Pluto of the USSR on the midheaven with the south node. His the USSR's moon is on Putin's Pluto, and they both have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. And the sun of the USSR is on Putin's Venus. And the USSR also has a Venus outbound. I think I mentioned all of that before. Now let's talk about the Ukraine. The Ukraine is a moon phase 10. And what a moon phase 10 really wants is to run its own affairs. It says, you do not know who I am. I know who I am. This is the iconoclast. You are not going to tell me who I am. Now the problem with the Ukraine, chart of the Ukraine, is it's just sort of, nobody's quite sure when it happens. So somebody said, well, let's say it happened here. So the Ukraine chart is fairly fuzzy. And but whether it's a 9 or a 10 or an 11, and I think it will be a 10, 11, he doesn't want messed with. He wants to run his own life. That's his mission. He's got his own standards. He wants to live and do his own life. And Putin doesn't agree. Okay. And so the Ukraine has the ascendant of the Ukraine is at 6 Gemini. The Jupiter is at 2 Gemini, which will be just inside the 12th house, and the moon is at 7 Gemini. And this, I think, kind of shows the divided nature of the Ukraine. About half of it is just strongly Russian, and is the excuse that Russia takes, one of the excuses, to march in and take it back, is because the people want to belong to Russia. Well, we'll see how it works. I think it's going to cost him a lot in the long term, but I think in the short term he's going to be successful. We'll see, because nobody wants World War III. Nobody. And Putin is, I mean, when a person gets emotional and they have that much power, and remember, he's got that moon, Mars, in opposition, out of bounds. I mean, in not contraparallel, which to me is opposition. So he's not to be trusted. And I'm hoping that people let him have his own way. Now, you got to do what you can do to make him pay for it. I don't know. War is hell. I pray that we'll be all right. I'm so sorry about the Ukrainian people. Like I say, they're moon phase 10. They really, really want to decide who they are themselves and express who they are themselves. I hope that somehow, in some way, they get to do that. Anyway, that's Putin. That's Vladimir Putin. Sorry. Anyway, I pray you're well. Take care of each other. Love you. Bye-bye.